So we've been seeing all these stories about the irregularities in the November 5th election in Rockland County, New York. And then we see this study come out in a publication called the Economic Times that Kamala may have won, that there was some irregularities with the voting machines. Now, when the election ended, people are always saying Donald Trump cheated somehow, Elon Musk cheated somehow. And I said, well, that's distinctly possible. But unless somebody has the evidence and somebody's going to do something about it, it really doesn't matter. People get away with crimes in government all the time because either people don't have evidence or they're too frightened to say anything. Now we're starting to see this come out. A lot of people are getting excited about this, the Rockland, New York thing, or this story coming out of the Economic Times. Now, I'm not going to say that none of this is true. It probably is true, but I want to warn you to settle down before we get somewhere with this. This happens all the time. People get excited about something that they think is going to blow the roof off the place, and then it doesn't, and then they get upset and they get depressed, and I don't want you to do that right now. We watch what's going on here. We'll let it go through the process, go through the courts, and see what happens. Before you get bought into the fact that this is it, this is the answer, this is what's going to happen, don't do that, because we've all been disappointed so many times. I'm not saying don't believe it or call it a hoax or call it a conspiracy. I don't know that that's the case. But just hold your spot for a while. Let's see how this plays out before we get too excited. Like the Economic Times, for example. That sounds like a good American publication. It's actually a publication from India. I looked up the reviews and they're okay. Some say it's a little left, some say it's a little right, some say it's center. There's nothing glaring about the publication that says it's bad, but doesn't say it's incredibly credible. So we take it for what it's worth. We listen to the stories and we look at the evidence, if there is any, and then we take it step by step. People said, do you think this Rockland, New York thing is going to upend this whole thing? I said, no. The best we can hope for is that this information comes out, it leads to other information, and that leads to other information, a kind of unraveling, if you will. And I can see that possibly happening. But like everything in government, like everything in this country, it takes time. Let's not jump on the bandwagon too quick here. Let's take a look at what we see and say, that's cool, what's next? And then we take it down the road until there is a point where we can overturn this motherfucking Republican Party, if that's even possible down the road. Don't jump on the bandwagon. Don't get too excited too early, because that's just a recipe for disaster, a recipe for disappointment. Again, I'm not talking shit about it. I'm not saying it's not true. It could be true. But let's play this out and see what really fucking happened.